real tea about gospel music in the gospel music industry. And I'm not going to be all day. All right. So first off, we're going to talk about. I'm not even going to talk about the show, the R&B diva show that Escape has with SWV. You can check that out on Bravo TV and look at all the drama and personal beef that they have with each other. Okay. But what we're going to talk about is Miss LaTocha Scott. Is because Mrs. LaTocha Scott was signed by Motown Records to put out a gospel album, and I think she's already released one single. And so, as a member of gospel media and music, my question to my fellow gospel music and media people is, are we playing her music? Because there have been some things that have been revealed about Mrs. Scott and her husband that people are just raking them over the coals right now, because it's said that her husband stole $30,000 in checks from her sister Tamika. Her sister Tamika is the second one from the left, for those who don't know Escape or their music. So that's Candy Burris on the far left. We know her from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's Tamika. Next to her is, they call her Tiny. And then that's LaTocha on the end. Um, and they're all with Escape, but I think LaTocha has since dropped out. So they said LaTocha and her husband were always on a separate agenda from what Escape as a group was doing anyway. And they say anytime LaTocha had an opportunity to go out on her own and think she was going to get her record deal by herself and make some money, they said, not my words, and that maybe I say allegedly, they said that LaTocha always gave them her behind the kiss. She always acted funny. She always, I got to talk to my husband first, or my husband is my manager. He said no, and all this other stuff. So come to find out, Tiny's mom signed her up for, what is it called? Sound exchange, I believe, where they could receive royalties that they didn't know about. So all of them ended up signing up for royalties, right? So they were getting this royalty check from Sound Exchange for records that they had produced and put out and whatnot. So come to find out, Tamika says somebody went in and changed her address of where her check was supposed to go to. So the address was changed to her mom's house and not her house, right? And she said at the time her sister LaTocha was living with her mother. And she said it, but I'll say allegedly to cover myself. She said that LaTocha's husband, whose name is Rocky, received those checks, forged her name on the back of those checks, and deposited those royalty checks into his bank account. And she said the church checks were worth $30,000. And she said at the time she was pregnant and she had a daughter in college and she was really struggling and really needed that money. And she told her sister, "You stole my money." Now, LaTocha is saying, Tamika, "I didn't steal your money. I didn't do it." But, they're saying that the husband did it. So the husband did an interview with Unwind with Tasha K, which is really popular on YouTube. So if you go to Unwind, UNWINE with Tasha K, and I think she has it listed as one word, you'll see the interview where LaTocha's husband did an interview with Tasha K about these checks. And so he eventually said what I was saying, hey, yeah, it's so much more to it, and everything's gonna come out in a few days, and that Tamika knows that that money belonged to Tasha because she got payment for songs that Tasha wrote. So basically saying, yeah, we took the money. We were owed that money. That was my wife's money. She wrote those songs, and you weren't supposed to get it. Okay. And then the most shocking thing about this is Tamika didn't even know about the checks that were coming in her name that had been forged and cashed, deposited into LaTocha Scott's husband's Rocky's bank account. She didn't know until Tiny's mom Say, hey, baby, did you get your check? Everybody else got their check. Tamika said, what check? And so when she investigated, she said that Sound Exchange, not Sound Exchange, the bank sent her, no, Sound Exchange sent her copies of the checks that had been endorsed. And that's how she found out that it was her sister's husband who had cashed those checks. Now, let me tell you how Rocky ended up on Unwind with Tasha K. There's a woman that came out that said her and Rocky, her name is Unique. That's I guess, a stage name. I don't know. That's not her real name. But she says her and Rocky have been having an affair, allegedly having an affair for the past 5 years. And she showed Unwind with Tasha K 5 years worth of text messages between the two of them. And there's supposed to be a baby involved and all of this other stuff. So he called Tasha K with the YouTube channel and said, hey, the lady is a gypsy. Her and her family are scammers. And he never said, we were never in a relationship. He never said, I don't know her. He never said that, from what I heard when I listened to the interview. It was painful because you could tell that he was not being truthful, even about the checks that were in Tamika's name that were allegedly cashed by him. And he kept saying, "Oh, the feds are involved. The feds are involved." And he was saying that in relation to the woman that he supposedly had a relationship with, an affair with, the feds are involved. When he first said the feds are involved, I was like, of course, if you're committing bank fraud, that's a federal offense. But he was talking about the woman, Unique, who he supposedly, allegedly had a 5 year affair with. And then also, not only her, there are supposed to be other women. Okay, let me wrap this up and how it relates to us as gospel people. So after all of that, he was beating around the bush and he was like, I love my wife. We've been together for more than 28 years and we haven't been perfect, because Unwind with Tasha K asked him, have you ever cheated? So he did this song and dance, and I'm not perfect. Hey, I'm in the music industry. I'm in the music industry. I'm involved with a lot of people. I manage artists, I sign artists, I hire producers. Basically, he was saying it's part of the norm of the business of what we do in the music industry. This is how it is. Things happen. My wife and I are still together and nothing else matters. All right, so let me bring this home. And here's where we, as people in the gospel music industry, just need to start being real with people. And I've worked in gospel music industry for more than 20 years. And you all don't see me much outside of what I do on my personal platform. My Facebook group, South Florida Gospel News. I have 2 pages for South Florida Gospel News. Um, Sometimes I show up at events. When I am available, I go and I support. So, bring this home. You have to understand that although it is gospel music, which is a genre, it's still the music industry. It is still the music industry. The same rules apply to rock and roll, hip hop, and what they do applies to gospel music. So I want to thank Mr. Gerard Holmes for nominating South Florida Gospel News for Media Publication of the Year for the Tampa Bay Gospel Awards. And the other person nominated is Keeping It Real in the Gospel with the CEO Kenya, who also owns in her own internet radio station, which I think is fabulous and amazing. Hats off to her. And I watched her do a live Facebook page early in the week where she's saying, she's just grateful just to be nominated, whether she wins or not. So, Kenya, I agree with you. I totally agree. Whether I win or not, whether South Florida Gospel News wins this year or not, I'm just grateful for to be nominated and to be recognized. And she was absolutely right in saying how some people are in their feelings and who deserves it and who does it and all this other stuff. And that's with every award show. I remember the first time South Florida Gospel News won an award, and I think it was for the Palm Beach Gospel Music Awards, and we won for Media of the Year. And there are people coming, oh, it ain't no real magazine, oh, this, all that, whatever. The people voted, and we won. And so I appreciate everyone for your support. So let's talk about this gospel music industry. Okay. So what we need to do is start being a little more honest with our artists who are out here windmilling in these streets trying to get popular, trying to make some money, get their music played on the radio, and ultimately win a Grammy Award. For me, for the artists that I was with, I used to be honest with them and just tell them the truth about what I knew, what was taught to me by a top tier person in the music industry, not gospel music, in the music industry that I had the pleasure to work with. And he taught me what he knows, right? He said, look, got to be honest with your artists because they are expecting more than you are able to deliver. Once you are honest with them, they will be able to better manage their expectations. So I was careful about the promises that I made to the artists that I managed. I was able to help my artists make some money, right? That was their ultimate goal. And one artist depended on my bookings so that he could feed his family. And that was tremendous pressure on me because I had a full time job. So listen, in the music industry, as far as gospel music is concerned, I'm gonna break this down to you to get a pen and a piece of paper or rewind and go back and watch this again. There's Christian music and there's black gospel music. And so you have to figure out which category you're going to fit into, right? Christian music does not include most black people. Let's just keep it real. I'm being honest with y'all. Christian music is what they play on Way FM and the other Christian stations where they're not going to play our music. Let's keep it real. They're not going to play Jimmy Hicks on Way FM, right? Christian music is the Amy Grants, who, by the way, is the best selling gospel artist of all time. The best selling gospel Christian artist beats all everybody. Amy Grant, okay? Has been and still is. Now you have black gospel that's going to be on your local R&B stations around here, X102, 99 Jams. That's your black gospel. That's where you're going to have your Kirk Franklins and all of them, okay? And local artists that they play if they choose to play it. Now on your Christian, they finally started playing a couple of songs from BB and CC Winans, because they were on the Praise the Lord network, helping them make millions and millions of dollars. And so the Christian community, which does not include our black and brown faces, when they say Christian community in the music industry, they saw them on the Praise the Lord. What was that? Jim and Tammy Baker, I believe. So they started playing a couple of their songs on the Christian station, Way FM, etc. And I'm telling the truth, and I'm telling you what I know because I've dealt with all of these people at these radio stations. I was deep off in it. I know the good, bad, and ugly. I know what they do off the stage, behind the stage, in the hotels. I know it all. Trust me when I'm telling you. Okay. So now you got Christian and you got black gospel. So this person in the upper echelon of the music business told me, look, when your artists put out their music, tell them to keep their black face off of the CDs and what was it? Their electronic press kit. Don't put your picture on there. That's the worst thing you could do when you're sending music and you trying to cross over to these Christian stations to see if they're going to play your music. Because I know some artists that were fantastic that would be great on Way FM. But because of the way their information was packaged, Guess what? When they mailed that stuff, it went straight to the garbage can. They see that black face on there. Oh no, we not playing that. I'm just being honest. I'm keeping it real with y'all. And I would ask our other promoters, our people who are out here trying to get people exposure and all this stuff, be honest with these artists. Don't just string them along thinking you're gonna help them get a Grammy Award. And we're gonna get to that in just a moment. Because this is business. It's your ministry, but this is business. Okay. And so hopefully, at these retreats and conferences and things, instead of trying to get people to buy your book, stop being honest with people and tell them the truth. And I have to think, when Bobby Jones would have his gospel industry retreat, and I got to sit next to Dietrich Haddon and Ty Tribbett and Yolanda Adams and Vicky Winans, and actually talk to them outside of the cameras. I got the lowdown of what really goes down. Mighty Clouds of Joy, um, Pastor Shirley Caesar. This is business. Kirk Franklin, all of them. I got to talk to all of them. I got to keep in touch with all of them. What's that other one? Dottie Peoples. These people out here in these streets getting doing these shows, Yolanda Adams, because they still got bills to pay. And if you think in their position they're going to allow you in to make more money than them, you might want to think about that again. What's that other one? Kim Burrell. I've sat with all of them and worked with a lot of them behind the scenes. So I know, please, when I'm telling you the truth, believe I'm telling you the truth. This is business. This is a business. The Williams brothers. I can go on and on about these artists, even some of the new ones, these hip hop artists and whatnot. And my thing is, again, with Tasha Scott, how I'm tying that together. This is business for her and her husband. And where I have a problem is the lifestyle not lining up to what you're singing about. And that's why I say for my gospel artists out here, how are you living? Are you living what you're preaching? Because after all, this is your ministry. It is business first, whether you want to believe it or not. It is when it comes to this music and getting on the radio and doing all this other stuff, it's business first. They could care less about your relief. They can care less about how many people you helped. They want to know, is it going to make them some money? And that's the bottom line. And as soon as you accept that, then you know how to navigate out here in this gospel music industry, which just happens to be gospel for you. All right. Am I making sense? I'm trying to make it make sense. That's why I was asking, as gospel media, are we supporting LaTocha Scott in her gospel album? It's probably awesome. She did release one song so far, and I didn't even bother to listen to her because I'm like, look, I really want to listen to this lady, knowing that there's she got some storms going on in her life, and I pray that she's able to overcome those things and actually live what she's singing about. But like I said, to these artists out here, you're gonna give them their money first. It's about whether or not with these labels, they might like you. You might have the most wonderful sound ever. Best photographer for your artwork, for your CDs, your electronic press kit. But are you gonna make them some money? That's the bottom line. So ask yourself that. And then let's talk about the Recording Academy. The Recording Academy, better known as the Grammys. And I bet a lot of y'all talking about, oh, I want me a Grammy. You didn't even know it was called Recording Academy. Did you know it was called the Recording Academy of the United States? I think it's United States Recording Academy of America, something like that. But anyway, and when I was managing and booking my artists, and some of them had some banging CDs, certainly deserved a Grammy. I thought the music was awesome. And he was like, I watched the Grammys, and then I can't believe some of the people that they picked and to win and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I had to break it down to him. I was like, look, bro, anybody can win a Grammy. If Barack Obama and Magic Johnson, who sing nothing, can win a Grammy, then so can you. It's all about who you know. You have to become uh, a member of the Recording Academy, and it's called the Recording Academy of the United States. That's the actual name of the organization that gives out the Grammy Awards, and it's a nonprofit organization. However, you do have to pay membership dues, and the membership dues are $100 per year. That goes to various programs that they have. So, um, there's three types of membership um, available, right? You can become a voting member, uh, and then they have like a academy university, and then they have gosh, I can't remember one for like producers and songwriters. But there's three different types of memberships. So in order to become a member, you can't just often I'm just gonna turn in my application and just go ahead and send my No, ma'am. No, sir. It does not work like that. Okay. So, in order to become a member, you have to get two people, two very well respected people who are already members of the Recording Academy of the United States, aka the Grammys. You have to get them to write a strong letter of recommendation, right? It says get two strong recommendations from music industry peers. And both of those recommendations have to use the same email address for you. So if I wanted to get, let's say, Puff Daddy and Beyonce to write a recommendation, they have to use the same email address to send their letter of recommendation. So the Academy does not accept self recommendations. And if you do go ahead and send a self recommendation, they're not going to accept it. They will not process it. Then you have to tell them about your career and your profile and all of that stuff, right? And so it's not easy to become a member of the Recording Academy of the United States. It's an organization. Like if you join a fraternity or a sorority, you can't just go in because you think you deserve it. You have to have letters of recommendation. They have to look at you and your background and your profile and see if you're worthy and whether or not you will be accepted into the academy. All right. And so they also have trustees, and this is specifically for my gospel music industry people who are trying to get out here with your, you know, you got your music on different electronic formats, and you might be making good sales on Amazon Music, Spotify, and all of that stuff. And you say, "Hey, I done sold these records. I've gone to the concerts, and I've sold out of my CDs, or where, however you sell your merchandise." And you think your music is so good and you want a Grammy nomination for it. Well, you have to become a member. You have to get those people in the Grammys to vote for you so that you can win. And that's how they win Grammys, not based on how many records they sell. It's based on that pool of people who are voting members. They receive ballots, and all of those people who are nominated for a Grammy Award, each person gets the opportunity to vote, just like the Tampa Bay Gospel Awards. We vote in each category. So it's the same kind of process. Okay. And so, guess what? For us gospel people, we have one representative as a trustee in the Recording Academy of the United States. That person, that one person out of all those people, there's about 30 people who sits on the trustee board as a trustee for the Recording Academy of the United States. That is Yolanda Adams. And we appreciate having that opportunity. So thank you, Miss Yolanda Adams. I hope she's really there helping out our gospel artists. And so that's how you say, oh, the same people keep winning every year and this and that. And that's how it works. Okay. And there's also a Florida chapter of the Recording Academy, aka the Grammys, right? So I'm going to give you an email address. So for those who are interested in becoming a member of the Grammys, or just finding out more information, I'm going to provide a email address. I'm not going to give their phone number or anything because I don't know if they're going to answer the phone. But you can hit them up, say how I want to get more information. I think that I deserve to be nominated for a Grammy award, or I want to become part of the Grammy University so that I can learn more, or whatever. So uh this is the email address for people who live in Florida and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. The Recording Academy Florida chapter. And I'm gonna read the address, and that's the email where you can send them an email. 6619 South Dixie Highway, number 571, Miami, Florida, 33143. The phone number is 305-672-4060. So let me read that again. The Florida Academy. I'm sorry, the Recording Academy, aka the Grammys, the Recording Academy Florida chapter. They have chapters all over New York, Chicago, LA. But for my people in Florida and Puerto Rico, contact the Recording Academy Florida chapter, 6619 South Dixie Highway, number 571, Miami, Florida, 33143. And the phone number is 305-672-4060. And you see the email address there, floridagrammy.com. So my point in doing this was to just be honest with people, and we can um back when I was promoting artists and managing artists, I had something to offer. I had relationships with record labels. I was able to get industry executives to come to our concerts and some of the award shows, and they actually sat there and scouted talent. I know that one group in particular they were in talks with, and I was able to do that, and put them in movie theaters to perform before a major movie was released, and take them on the road all over the state of Florida. And I thank God for the opportunity. But let's get out here, let's under promise and over deliver, and let's have opportunities for our artists, and most of all, like I said, let's be honest with them about the gospel music business. Is the music industry, the genre is gospel, but the rules are the same for the music industry. Okay. And moving right along, I think that's all I had. I think I talked long enough. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me on Facebook, Deborah S. Hall, and then check out my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel where this video and all other videos that I have made previously are on my YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, check for Deborah Hall 4816, and you'll see my YouTube videos come up. And I'm asking you to please like and share this video. Tell somebody about it. I thank you all for your support and your feedback, good and bad. I appreciate all of you, because some of y'all have something to say, sometimes about my videos, and I'm grateful for it. Thank you so much, which helps me to get better. And to my gospel industry peeps, let's all sit together. There's room for everybody out here. And I mean everybody. We're going to make it do what it do. All right, y'all. So that's all I have. Please rewind this video, watch it again, and by all means, tell a friend. Until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.